Alright, what's going on, y'all? So this is my workout I'm going to be doing today. And as much as I'd like to film the entire thing and show you exactly what it looks like, I'm here by myself. So I'm just going to go over everything, and hopefully maybe in the future I can do an individual video for each lift just to make sure you know how to do it and some of the common mistakes or errors that people can make with form or things like that. So this workout is based off of the Colorado experiment, which I have written about, and it falls under that high intensity training like Ken talks about in his muscle building series. And so the setup is that I'm going to do every single one of these lifts one time. So I'm going to do one set to absolute failure. And so that's key. It's just one set to failure. And the cadence is about a 5-second negative and a 3-second positive. So say for bench press, I'm going to count 5 seconds on the way down, really slow, keeping good tension, and then 1, 2, 3 up, and then back down. And so it's non-stop tension. You don't ever take breaks. You don't straighten your elbows, your knees, anything like that. You just go as hard as you can for as long as you can, and as soon as you reach muscle failure and you freeze in your tracks, then you rack the weight, and it's the only set you do. You move on to the next round. And so because I have I've had back problems in the past, I've kind of overcome it, but just to be on the safe side, I always advise a warm-up for the core, because the core is the most important part of your body, and it can be developed into a weakness that could cause low back pain, things like that. So I start with the chop and lift. That's the cables coming down and pulling up. Then I do Turkish get-ups, which is with the kettlebell standing up, and then this is one arm cross body single leg deadlift. And then pull-off press is the one with the cables from the side and you push out, and so the anti-rotation is causing that rotational stability with the trunk, and then 2 minutes of rest. And so these exercises don't fall under that one set to failure philosophy. This is just a warm-up. So I do it however many times I need to feel warmed up. It's usually just 2 sets, basically, just making sure that I have really good form, and everything is just good activation. So I really want to feel those muscles firing. So then when I get started, I take 2 minutes of rest between each of these blocks. And so I've divided them into 3 blocks that kind of separate the different body parts. And the reason I do that is because I like to mix it up. So, today I'll do ABC, but 3 days later I can do ACB or BAC. I change it up depending on whatever I want. I always put my first block as my highest priority. So I like front squats starting out because it also demands a really strong core stabilization. So I like starting off with block A. If you want to get bigger arms and upper body, block C is where you should start. And then B is for the lats and the back and the posterior chain, things like that. So it's whatever you're going for, put them in order of priority, starting with the highest priority. So I'll do a set of front squat. And like I said, it's one set to failure, and you want to aim for like 15, maybe 20 reps, and they're slow reps, so you really have to come down on the weight with very light, maybe like 50%, even less of your max. So front squat, I can front squat maybe like 315 with perfect form. So here with this, the way I'm doing this this training session, I'm only going to do about 135. It's really lightweight, and I feel like I can control every motion. Maybe I fall a little to the left. I can gain that stability just like that. And so it's a good way to show your body the proper movement, making sure that you're going, perfectly through. This is all about form. So if you have an ego and you're worried about how heavy you can lift, this is not for you. You've really got to just leave your ego at the door, come in here, and you're here to train. You're not here to compete. So you want to make sure that you're training properly. Anyway, so I start with front squat. As soon as I fail, I rack the weight and I instantly go to Bulgarian split squat. There are no breaks between any of these. The point of it is you're trying to get as much stress exerted into your body as possible, and then that 2 minutes of rest kind of gets you back down to normal. So you are bullying yourself. You are pushing yourself to your absolute limits with each one of these, and you'll feel like a real champion if you can do this. Fucking fly. After Bulgarian split squat, we'll go to hamstring curl. I don't have a hand curl machine here, but I will show you an alteration you can do. Then back squat is just basic back squat. I usually only do about 135, sometimes 185. And again, this is I can back squat 405. And so this is way less than that, obviously. One-legged calf raise, so I usually hold about a 20-pound dumbbell, and 5 seconds all the way. You really want to make sure you get that full range of motion with the calf raise. So even with no weight, you'll get a workout out of this because you're pushing all the way full range of motion. So that last inch or two, when you're tiptoeing, you're squeezing really tight. So then I take my 2 minutes of rest, get a little water, shake it out, make sure I'm still loosened up, find any spots that still feel tight and rub it out. And then, basic deadlift, I always do conventional unless I'm aiming for high numbers, then I'll switch to the sumo deadlift. Pull-ups, that's wide grip pull-ups. And again, this is really, really slow movement. So if you can't do pull-ups for 5 to 3 second cadence, do lat pull downs. Go sit down, do weight that's less than your body weight, and make it work for you. There's ways to customize every single one of these exercises to fit you. You don't have to follow this to a T. This is just me giving you an example of what I'm following through with. So after pull-ups, I'll do bent over rows. I prefer barbell row to dumbbell row just because it's more weight, so it's more stress on the body, versus if I did one at a time, I'd kind of be giving myself a break. My right arm would be resting as my left arm is pulling. So bent over row, I just go grab that same barbell with 135 and do that. And then pullovers or pull downs. So there are different ways to do this, but basically anything with that rotational component, pulling down, activating the lat in a rotational plane of motion. And then after that, 2 minutes of rest again. And then we hit the upper body. So overhead or pike press. So overhead press is either with dumbbells or barbells. In this case, I prefer dumbbells because it gives each shoulder its own sense of stability. The pike is a gymnastic stance or form, and it's basically with your feet on, you're up on your tiptoes and your hands all are on the ground, and you're just taking the crown of your head between your hands and doing a push-up like that. So it does take some hamstring flexibility, or you can prop your feet up on a box jump, do it that way. I prefer anything with body weight over weights. So I would always do pike press rather than overhead press, but I know sometimes if you're in a crowded gym, you don't want to look like a moron or steal someone's box jump. So go grab some weights and just stand there and press those. IYTs are basically a lateral raise with the shoulder, so that's that one chance to get some of that deltoid action going on. The key here is, again, light weight. You should always do lightweight. Even if you're not doing this workout, you should always do light weights with shoulders, because you don't realize every time you're doing a lateral raise with heavy weight, you're pinching tendon in there that eventually it's going to cause wear and tear. Maybe it won't hurt you that day, but you're causing wear and tear in the shoulder joint. And so over the course of 10, 20 years, you're going to start having shoulder issues. So I always have a rule with lateral straight arm raises, 5 pounds or less. You can even do no weight, trust me. If you do no weight and you're going this slow and you're coming up to the top and you're squeezing here and you're going back and forth nice and slow with good form and you're feeling those contractions, you don't need weights in your hands, believe me. Chin-ups. So again, if you don't have the strength to do full body chin-ups, especially after everything you've already done, go grab the lat pull down bar. Just do some sort of supinated grip with your palms facing up. That way you work the bicep a little more and you're pulling that rotational shoulder back to extension. And then easy bar curl. I prefer the easy bar over the straight bar just because it's easier on the wrist. A lot of people don't have that full supination and it strains the wrist. And a trick that I've learned with the easy bar, and I'll show you this in another video, but it's not just a basic up-down curl. I'm bringing the bar as close to my body as I can as I come up, and then I'm punching the bar up, and then I'm releasing it out in front of me. So it's almost like I'm rowing. I'm pulling up here, pressing, coming down out here. And so that causes a heavier resistance on the negative, the eccentric part of the lift, and it's giving me more of a squeeze as I extend that shoulder back, making sure that I still have that shoulder range of motion to come back here, rather than just keeping that shoulder stiff. So I'm activating the movement in the joint capsule here. Bench press. So a lot of you, if you want to get a stronger bench press or you just want a bigger chest size, you know, things like that, that's why I say to put block C first, because it's towards the end of the list and it's kind of, you know, like, I don't care about how big my chest is. I care more about body weight movement and control and core stability, legs, things like that. So I like my leg strength being highest priority. So bench press, way at the bottom of the list. Mix this up as you want. Just try to keep it like, you know, keep all the B in the B, just arrange them however you like. Again, with bench press and chest press or push-ups, body weight is always better than barbell because you have that scapular freedom when you're doing a push-up instead of them being glued to the bench, so you can actually move it around. And it's just better proprioceptive movement because you can control your own body movements more and you have that sense of stability more. Then I go straight from chest press to diving push-ups to add, again, it's more chest, so we're compounding the chest movement back to back, but we're also putting more emphasis on the triceps. And then again, we take the chest almost completely out of it and go straight for tricep overload with the dips. And then that is the main workout. After that, you are done. But if you are losing weight, which, trust me, this will help you lose weight on its own, but I'm a freak and I like to work out for like 2 hours straight. So if I'm trying to lose more weight than usual, usually I'm fine with where I am, but if I'm burning fat, is what I'm saying, if I'm trying to get cut, I also add in a cardio finisher. And I usually pick from one of these depending on what I'm in the mood for, or what I want to get better at, or you know what's available to me. So these are my 6 favorite cardio finishers. Number 1, clean and jerk. This is just a passion of mine, is the Olympic lifts. They are very technical lifts, so I don't recommend practicing them until you've worked with a coach or you've gotten advice from somebody who does it themselves, because it's a very easy way to injure yourself. Clean and jerks are, it's a reason that they do them in the Olympics. It's a very hard lift to perfect, but that is what I'm aiming for. So clean and jerks are my number 1 go-to. That's just me. This whole video is me. If you want advice, talk to me one-on-one. Number 2, kettlebell swings. This I would recommend to anybody. I think this is a beginner level lift, and it is very good for both glute activation and core activation. Those are the 2 out of the 3 most important things to me, eliminating grip strength from those 3. Lunges for 200 meters, it's pretty far depending on where you are athletically. I would do it for 200 meters after a workout like this, and that would completely wear out my legs. Sprints, I love sprinting. It's like the best full body movement you can do. Swimming, so the gym I attend at Fayetteville has a swimming pool with laps and lanes. Bleh, I'm losing my ability to speak. It has lanes to swim laps. So I swim at that pool for good cardio, and it washes off the sweat, makes me feel good about myself. And then burpees are something I think are one of the most overlooked exercises for cardio, strictly because you can do them anywhere. So a gym doesn't get any money out of you doing burpees, and trainers usually don't like you doing burpees because you can do them without them being there. So don't forget about the importance of burpees. I really think they are a good tool to have in your toolbox. So after you finish your cardio, I guess I forgot to go over this. These are something you maybe want to do for 1 minute, highest intensity possible, and then call it quits. Don't make this 5 sets or 3 sets of 10 to 20. Just go full throttle, 30 to 60 seconds, and leave. Get out of there. All you have to do is ramp up your heart rate as high as you can get it. Get a lot of that fat to release from the fat cell, saying, I'm in high demand of energy. Put fat where it belongs so that I can be burned off. And then leave the gym, because you will burn it all off throughout the rest of the day. So that is what I'm about to do. Wish me luck, and If you give it a try, please email me, let me know what you think, and I can give you any information on any of these lifts if you just ask for it.